What's going on, guys? Tyzilla83 here. 2015 SEC preseason rankings is what you're watching. Thanks a lot. So, yeah, as you can tell, hopefully you picked up the hint. Arkansas, ranked number 3 in the SEC West, according to Tyzilla83. I really like them here. I think that again, between them, Ole Miss, LSU, and even Texas A&M, God knows where these teams are really going to finish at the end of 2015. And no, this wasn't a biased decision. It was mostly because they're returning, the best offensive line in the SEC. They're returning Alex Collins, Cody Walker, and Raleigh Williams. Of course, Jonathan Williams got to miss the year. Very disappointing. But they're bringing back a Hunter Henry, who's an All-American caliber tight end, who is an All-American actually. Rob Smith, a second-year defensive coordinator, took Arkansas from an embarrassment to maybe the best defense in the SEC last year, at least one of the top 2 or 3. It's also based off their last 2 recruiting classes. On paper, you probably look at them and go, well, they're okay, they finished top 20, big deal, top 25. But when you look at who these guys are and how Coach Brett Bielema and how Rob Smith evaluate players, these guys are big time. So let's go in with the MVP, like I like to do with every single team. The MVP for me is Hunter Henry, the big 6'5", 250-pound junior from Little Rock, Arkansas. This is a guy who, like I said, he's a big target, and it's nice to have that. A year ago, he had nearly 40 catches. He had 37 catches, over 500 yards receiving, and only 2 receiving touchdowns. I fully expect those numbers to go up for Hunter Henry in 2015. I think a lot of you, if you don't know who he is, he's definitely already a household name in the state of Arkansas. I think most of the SEC will know who he is by the end of 2015. Going to recruiting, their top 3 guys for me. Number 3, I'll go from the bottom, something I haven't done with other videos. Number 3 was I've got Dominic Reed, 6'3", 6'4", 180-pound, 4.35, rumored to have a 4.35 40. He's already shined a little bit in the fall camp. The number 2 guy I had in my recruiting video was Jeremiah Ledbetter, but I think that's changed. I think he's moved up my list. But true freshman Hygelte, and I'm butchering this, I know I am. Hygelte Froholt, 6'4", 285-pounder. He won't redshirt. He will be in rotation, but he's definitely going to probably be a backup for most of 2015, assuming everybody stays healthy. God willing, everybody stays healthy. But then the number 1 guy, another junior college transfer, much like Dominic Reed, Jeremiah Ledbetter, who's already made some waves in the fall camp. He's a 6'3", 280-pounder. He's also a 4-star like these other guys I just mentioned, other than Dominic Reed. I believe Dominic Reed, by most recruiting sites, was a 3-star. Ledbetter, a 4-star, highly sought-after junior college defensive lineman. Again, 6'3", 280-pounder. He's already made some waves, and I'm really excited to see what he can do. But this entire class, to me, is one of the most underrated and definitely one of the best evaluated, I think. If you pay attention to the way Brett Bielema recruited at Wisconsin, you look at the way he's recruited since he's been at Arkansas, he has found diamond after diamond in the rough, and that's pretty impressive. So those are reasons why I really like Arkansas. Again, last year these guys finished 7-6. They ended the year on such a hot streak. I think if they start the year out like that, if they can close out some difficult games on the road, they've only got 3 games all year, SEC games at home. If you look at their strength of schedule, it's difficult. You look at the fact they're bringing back a lot of players offensively. They're bringing back about 8 or 9 returning starters off the offense, and they're bringing back about 6 to 7 starters off the defense. I like these guys between 9 and 11 games, just like I had with Ole Miss by the end of the year. Again, last year they were 7-6, but I'm leaning this year towards about 10 wins is really where I like them. But again, they're in that 9 to 11 win category. So that leaves us with, well, there's 2 teams left, but I've got Alabama ranked number 2, and I'm going to keep these guys short and sweet. You ought to be used to hearing this by now. Alabama, number one, number one, number one, every year in the SEC West. This year, I think I'm not buying into the whole Alabama's taking a step back nonsense, but I do think it's going to be difficult for them considering they don't have an established quarterback who they thought it was going to be in Jake Coker. Now they're looking at freshmen to possibly play that position. It's not only because of that fact, but it's also the fact that they're not returning hardly, a whole lot of starters. They have to restock on the offensive line, and I realize it's Nick Saban. That's what he does, and that's what he's best at. But I really think that's a disadvantage for Alabama. On the plus side, defensively, this could be one of the best defensive units they've had in a long time at Alabama, and that's saying a mouthful right there because every year they're top three category or top three caliber defense every year, year in and year out in the SEC. Let's talk about their MVP. For me, it's Derrick Henry, 6'3", 240 pounds. He's been called the Freak. Definitely a big-time running back in the SEC in a year full of running backs. Let's look at their top recruits. Calvin Ridley, a five-star Under Armour All-American wide receiver, standing at 6 foot 170 pounds out of Florida. The next guy up is Darren Payne at the defensive tackle position, also a five-star and an Under Armour All-American. Try to say that 10 times fast. 6'2", 325-pounder. He was from Birmingham, Alabama. And then the last guy, last but not least, and hell, could even play some quarterback this year, Blake Barnett, the five-star quarterback, 6'4", 200-pounder out of California, ranked as the nation's number 21 overall prospect, the number 2 pro-style quarterback out of the 2015 recruiting class, according to 24/7. So that's it for me, guys. Please remember to like or dislike, whatever, at the end of the video. If you got any questions or comments, please comment down below. I love the arguments. That's what makes SEC football so great. And as always, if you're not a subscriber, please do so. Keep in mind, I also stream on Twitch. If you don't have a Twitch account, go make one and go watch me play some games. I usually stream PS4 stuff. So, but again, that's it. Try like hell to be kind to one another. I am Tyzilla83, and I'm out. Peace.